Penguin Random House Audio presents Fierce Love, a bold path to ferocious courage and rule-breaking kindness that can heal the world. This is the author, Reverend Dr. Jacqui Lewis. For Mom and Dad, my first fierce loves. Introduction. You, yours, and ours. Even before COVID-19 showed up in our global family, we were living in what I call hot mess times. In our current context, race and ethnicity, caste and color, gender and sexuality, socioeconomic status and education, religion and political party have all become reasons to divide and be conquered by fear and rancor. For some time, a perfect storm has been brewing, one that polarizes, amplifying the power of divergent ideologies and reducing our differences to shallow and bigoted categories in which we are vehemently against them. Put simply, we are in a perilous time, and the answer to the question, who are we to be, will have implications for generations to come. We have a choice to make. We can answer this question with diminished imagination by closing ranks with our tribe and hiding from our human responsibility to heal the world. Or we can answer the question of who we are to be another way. We can answer it in the spirit of Ubuntu. The concept comes from the Zulu phrase Umuntu, Ngumuntu, Ngambuntu, which literally means that a person is a person through other people. Another translation is, I am who I am because we are who we are. When Zulus see each other, they offer this greeting, Sawubona, which means, I see you. And the response is Sikhona, which means, I exist. With this in mind, who I will be is deeply related to who you are. In other words, we are each impacted by the circumstances that impact those around us. What hurts you hurts me. What heals you heals me. What causes you joy causes me to rejoice. And what makes you sad also causes me to weep. By channeling the ancient wisdom of Ubuntu, we can engineer a badly needed love revolution to rise up out of the ashes of our current reality. I'm not referring to the sentimental love of romantic comedies, greeting cards, and pop music. That kind of love does not serve this purpose. No, I'm calling for a demanding, heart-transforming, fierce love. Fierce love breaks through tribalism to help humans realize an inextricable and irrevocable connection and understand that the liberation, livelihood, and thriving of people and planet are tied up together. In this moment, in the urgency of now, we simply must ask questions of identity as we consider the surviving and thriving of all peoples. We must allow the stories of others, the vulnerable, the poor, the stranger, the one least like us, to change our stories, to impact our story. The empathy that grows from listening to others, from connecting with our neighbors, and from loving our neighbors as we love ourselves can define the courses of action we take. How we vote, where we live, where we shop, how we raise our children, how we care for the planet. All of these choices, when made with Ubuntu, can save humanity. I love a good story. Stories can horrify you, make you cry, shock you, and shake you to your core. They can melt your heart, change your mind, call you to action. Humans become human because of stories. They form our identity, remind us of who we've been, and teach us who we are to be. We lean into them, fall back from them. We wrestle with their contradictions. We sort them out. This audiobook is packed with stories of sacrifice and resilience, stories of truth-telling and forgiveness. Most of these stories come from deep in my own history, from both my childhood and my adult life, though there are others here too as testimony to what fierce love can do. My stories are of my own awakening, psychological, sexual, political, and spiritual. and trace my journey to confront and make amends with myself, my family, my community, and my God. Coincidentally, fire is a recurring character in the forging of my identity and outlook. When I was in my 20s, a moving truck fire took almost all of my earthly belongings, and in 2020, just as I was finishing this manuscript, a suspicious fire that started next door to my church in Manhattan consumed all but the facade of my beloved workplace. I realized that both fires gave back to me as much as they took. I learned the liberation that comes when you lose everything, that the opportunity to begin again is true freedom. Especially after the Middle Church fire, I've been revisited with the tremendous power of Ubuntu in the way that people all over the world have grieved with our congregation, loved on us fiercely, and pledged to help us rebuild. What hurts you hurts me. What heals you heals me, writ large. Whether my own or plucked from the world, the stories I share illustrate my thinking about how to live with Ubuntu and to effect change. There are 9 of these strategies, 9 behaviors that fall into 3 categories: those that relate to you and the way you think about and treat yourself, those about how you behave in your community, and those about how you choose to amplify your personal code out in the world. I've made these tenets concrete in my life, and you can make them concrete in yours. These practices are tools to help you become kinder and gentler, to build quality relationships and communities that are inclusive and intersectional, to create a culture that embraces the full spectrum of ethnicity, gender, sexuality, and humanity that make this world and this life so amazing. All of us must face and embrace the urgent need for deep social change, change that begins within, then spreads like ripples on a pond, and finally becomes a tsunami of love-inspired change. No matter your age, race, faith, gender, or sexuality, I hope these 9 practices give you a new sense of the power you have to be good and to insist on good, to care for others and insist on being cared for, to stand up for the vulnerable and stand against injustice, to love and be loved. As a scholar who has studied religion and psychology, as an author of books on identity development and the power of stories, as a professor who teaches about leadership and anti-racist work, I understand why and how people and systems change. I know this to be true. The world doesn't get great unless we all get better. If there is such a thing as salvation, then we are not saved until everyone is saved. Our dignity and liberation are bound together. We must care for ourselves and the village around us. If we don't, the village's problems become our problems, and together our children will continue to hide from bullets in their classrooms. Our elders' safety nets will be threatened. Our young adults will face mounting debt and earn less than their parents. Fear, xenophobia, racism, bigotry, these problems belong to all of us, and they will get better as we all get better. When it comes to truly thriving, those of us who are woke and those of us who are awakening know that the glow of our fabulous, wonderful lives dims when our communities are suffering and unable to stretch toward a future just as fabulous as the future we want for our loved ones and ourselves. By telling stories of my own struggle to care for me, mine, and ours, by sharing the experiences of good people who have shifted their lives and the society around them, by sharing wisdom and insights from many disciplines, and by providing guideposts for the journey toward Ubuntu ethics and fierce love, I hope this book will illuminate a beautiful future awaiting all of us. I can see a bold new path, led by a vision of the sacred goodness of humankind and the abundance of the planet's resources. I can see it, and I want you to see it too. You and I are the ones we've been waiting for to create better lives for ourselves and our communities and to build a better world together. All we need is the courage to imagine and the will to make it be so.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?